Did you know just one foolish sentence can make you lose a lifetime opportunity? But one wise sentence can earn you respect forever. The problem is, most of us don't even realize we sound foolish every single day. In a world where everyone wants to be heard, few people truly know how to listen. Yet listening is the silent power that defines a wise communicator. A smart conversation doesn't start with words. It begins with understanding. When you listen with genuine attention, you give the other person the rare gift of feeling seen and valued. And in return, you gain insights that words alone could never teach. Listening is not a passive act. It is an active skill that builds bridges between minds. Most people listen only to prepare their next response. Their minds race, searching for something clever to say instead of absorbing what's being shared. But the wise speaker knows that real influence comes not from speaking quickly, but from listening deeply. To listen to understand means to pause your inner dialogue, to silence the urge to interrupt, and to focus entirely on the other person's message, not just their words, but their tone, emotions, and unspoken feelings. When you listen this way, you begin to see beyond the surface. You notice the hesitation before a difficult confession, the nervous laugh hiding insecurity, or the quiet sigh of someone who just needs empathy, not advice. One of the greatest communication secrets is the mirror technique, reflecting what you've heard in your own words. A simple phrase like, "It sounds like you've been under a lot of stress lately," shows that you truly understand. It builds trust instantly because the other person feels validated. People open up more when they sense that you're not judging them, but genuinely trying to understand their perspective. It's in that emotional connection that meaningful conversations begin. Listening also requires patience and emotional control. Sometimes you'll hear things you disagree with or stories that trigger your own emotions. A wise communicator resists the urge to react defensively. Instead, they use curiosity. "That's interesting. Can you tell me more about how you see it?" This approach disarms tension and transforms potential conflicts into opportunities for understanding. It's not about proving who's right. It's about discovering the truth together. One powerful example of this comes from leadership. The best leaders are often the best listeners. They don't dominate meetings with speeches. They ask questions, observe carefully, and speak last. Why? Because they know that every person in the room holds a piece of the puzzle. By listening first, they make smarter decisions and earn the respect of their team. The same applies in personal life. When you listen first, you naturally speak with more wisdom because your words are shaped by understanding. Listening is also a form of humility. It acknowledges that you don't know everything and that every person has something valuable to teach you. This mindset not only improves conversations but also transforms relationships. People gravitate toward those who make them feel heard. In time, your presence itself becomes calming and trustworthy because you've mastered the rare art of listening in a noisy world. The next time you talk to someone, remember, your ears can speak louder than your mouth. Maintain eye contact, nod with sincerity, and let silence do its work. Don't rush to fill every pause. Sometimes, the best response is simply holding space for someone else's thoughts to unfold. When you listen with empathy and awareness, you don't just understand people, you connect with them at a level words alone can't reach, and that is where every truly wise conversation begins. Knowing when to speak and when to remain silent is one of the most underrated skills in communication. Many people believe that being articulate means always having something to say, but wisdom often hides in restraint. Silence is not a lack of confidence. It's a sign of control, of someone who doesn't need to prove their intelligence with every word. In fact, silence can sometimes be the most powerful statement in the room. The wise communicator understands this balance perfectly. Speak when your words add value and stay silent when they don't. Every conversation has a rhythm. Some moments call for enthusiasm, others for patience. Speaking out of rhythm can destroy trust or escalate tension. For example, imagine a heated argument. One person raises their voice desperate to be heard, while the other pauses, listens, and chooses their response carefully. The silent person might seem passive, but they're actually holding the advantage. By not reacting emotionally, they're steering the conversation from chaos to clarity. In contrast, the person who speaks impulsively often ends up regretting what was said. The lesson is simple. You don't need to win every exchange. You just need to understand it. Silence can also demonstrate strength in professional settings. During a meeting, a brief pause before you respond can make your answer appear more thoughtful and deliberate. It gives others the impression that your words carry weight. In negotiations, strategic silence can pressure the other side to reveal more than they intended. It's fascinating how uncomfortable people become with silence. They rush to fill it, often giving away valuable information. The wise communicator, however, uses that silence as a tool, letting it work in their favor. In personal relationships, silence plays a different but equally powerful role. When someone you care about is upset, they often don't need solutions. They need space to express themselves. Jumping in with advice or counter-arguments can make them feel invalidated. But sitting quietly, offering your attention without judgment, creates an emotional safety net. It says, "I'm here, and I value your feelings." In those moments, silence becomes a form of love. Of course, knowing when not to stay silent is just as important. There are times when speaking up is an act of courage. Remaining quiet in the face of injustice, dishonesty, or disrespect isn't wisdom. It's avoidance. The difference lies in intention. Wise communication isn't about staying silent for the sake of peace. It's about choosing silence or speech based on what the situation truly needs. The goal is always clarity, not dominance. One way to develop this awareness is by practicing mindful pauses. Before responding, take a short breath and ask yourself, does what I'm about to say add clarity, kindness, or value? If the answer is no, silence is the wiser option. These pauses can feel unnatural at first, but they build an aura of calm authority. Over time, people start to notice, when you speak, they listen, because you don't waste words. In a noisy world, the person who speaks less but says more is unforgettable. They understand that silence, used intentionally, is a form of power. It commands respect, diffuses tension, and leaves space for deeper understanding. So the next time you feel the urge to fill the silence, pause. Let your stillness speak for you. Sometimes, saying nothing at all is the smartest thing you can do. Words are powerful. They can inspire, heal, destroy, or transform. The difference between someone who simply speaks and someone who speaks wisely lies in how they choose their words. Intelligent speech is not about using complicated vocabulary or sounding superior. It's about speaking with purpose, clarity, and emotional intelligence. Every word you say either builds a bridge or burns one. The wise communicator understands that language is energy, and they use it to create connection, not conflict. The first key to choosing the right words is mindfulness. Before speaking, pause and think. What outcome do I want from this conversation? If your goal is to solve a problem, your tone and phrasing should sound collaborative, not confrontational. For instance, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," try, "I feel like we sometimes misunderstand each other. Can we talk about it?" The meaning is similar, but the impact is completely different. One triggers defensiveness. The other invites cooperation. That's the subtle power of thoughtful language. Tone is another invisible force behind communication. You can say the right thing the wrong way and ruin your message entirely. A gentle voice can calm an angry heart, while a harsh tone can turn even good advice into an insult. Wise speakers use their tone like musicians use instruments. They adjust the rhythm, pitch, and emotion to suit the situation. When someone feels respected and safe, they listen more openly. Words matter, but how you say them often matters more. The art of giving feedback is one of the greatest tests of communication intelligence. Most people fear confrontation because they associate it with criticism. But constructive feedback is not about pointing out flaws. It's about helping someone grow. Instead of saying, "You did this wrong," try, "Here's something that might make it even better." The second approach preserves the person's dignity and keeps their motivation intact. Similarly, when you praise someone, make it specific and sincere. "You're great" is nice, but "I really admire how calmly you handled that situation," makes them feel truly seen. There's also wisdom in using questions instead of statements. Questions invite dialogue. Statements often close it. "Have you considered this?" sounds collaborative, while "you should do this" sounds controlling. Smart communicators lead others to insights without forcing them. This style of speech, gentle yet firm, creates influence without dominance. Even in difficult conversations, choosing the right words can change the entire emotional atmosphere. When tempers rise, replace absolute words like always or never with neutral language. You always forget becomes, it seems like this happens often lately. The second version sounds less accusatory and keeps the discussion grounded in facts rather than emotions. It shows maturity and self-control, qualities that instantly elevate your presence. Ultimately, speaking intelligently comes down to intention. Are your words meant to prove your point or to create understanding? The former inflates the ego. The latter builds relationships. Wise communicators know that language can either be a weapon or a tool. They choose to use it as a bridge, to connect ideas, soothe pain, and move people toward harmony. In the end, the goal isn't to speak perfectly, but to speak purposefully. Every word is a seed. Plant kindness and you'll grow trust. Plant resentment and you'll reap distance. The next time you speak, remember that your voice has weight. Use it with precision, compassion, and courage. That's what it truly means to master the power of intelligent speech. Every great communicator shares one secret skill: the ability to read their audience. Knowing what to say is important, but knowing how and when to say it based on who you're speaking to, that's mastery. Human communication isn't just about words. It's about energy, emotion, and perception. Each person you talk to carries a different story, temperament, and emotional rhythm. A wise speaker understands that to connect deeply, you must adapt your language, tone, and timing to the person in front of you. Reading the listener begins with observation. Before you even speak, watch their body language. Their posture, facial expressions, and eye movements tell you more than their words ever could. Are they open and relaxed or defensive and closed off? Are their eyes curious or do they seem distracted? If someone leans forward, they're engaged. If they fold their arms, they might be uncomfortable or skeptical. A wise communicator adjusts instantly, slowing down, softening their tone, or changing the topic to re-establish comfort. This level of awareness transforms ordinary conversations into meaningful exchanges. People process emotions differently, so understanding personality types is also key. Some people are logical. They value facts, data, and clarity. Others are emotional. They connect through stories, empathy, and tone. There are also visionary types who love big ideas and practical types who focus on details. Imagine speaking with an analytical person using only feelings. They'll get frustrated. Or trying to inspire a dreamer with nothing but statistics. They'll lose interest. Reading your listener allows you to find the right balance that resonates with them, not just with you. This adaptability doesn't mean being fake. It means being emotionally intelligent. You're not changing your beliefs. You're changing your delivery. It's the same truth, shaped to be understood by different minds. Think of it like music. The melody remains, but the tempo changes depending on the mood of the audience. This flexibility is what makes your communication truly impactful. Emotional cues are another vital element. Sometimes people say, "I'm fine," but their tone betrays sadness. Others might argue aggressively when they're actually feeling hurt or scared. If you can see past the surface words, you can respond to what they mean, not just what they say. For instance, when someone is upset, instead of arguing facts, you might say, "I can see this really matters to you." That one empathetic sentence can dissolve defensiveness and open the door to honest conversation. It's not manipulation. It's connection through compassion. Stories are also powerful tools for reading and adapting to your listener. Humans are wired for storytelling. When logic fails, stories succeed. A simple anecdote can turn an abstract point into something relatable. A wise communicator uses personal or real-world stories that mirror the listener's struggles or dreams. It's a subtle way of saying, "I understand you." And when people feel understood, they become more receptive. The more you practice reading people, the more intuitive it becomes. Over time, you'll start noticing micro-expressions, pauses, or shifts in tone that reveal the truth behind words. You'll know when to push, when to pause, and when to simply listen. That awareness makes your presence magnetic. People feel safe around you because you get them without needing to explain everything. To read others effectively, start by being fully present. Put away distractions, quiet your assumptions, and observe with curiosity. Treat every conversation as a chance to learn about the human heart. Because the truth is, communication isn't about impressing others. It's about connecting with them. When you master the art of reading people, your words stop being just sounds. They become instruments that tune into the emotions of others and create harmony instead of noise. Calmness and confidence are the invisible foundations of every powerful conversation. No matter how skilled you are with words or how intelligent your ideas may be, if your emotions control you, your message will lose its strength. Wise communication isn't just about what you say. It's about the state of mind you bring into every interaction. The ability to stay calm under pressure and express yourself with quiet confidence is what separates the reactive from the respected. In any discussion, especially difficult ones, emotions can rise quickly. Maybe someone challenges your opinion, criticizes your work, or speaks harshly. In those moments, the natural instinct is to defend yourself, to fire back, or to prove a point. But doing so rarely helps. The wiser path is to pause, breathe, and regain control before responding. That 3-second pause may feel small, but it creates a powerful shift. It allows logic to catch up with emotion, ensuring that your response is measured, not impulsive. This simple technique can prevent countless arguments and misunderstandings. Confidence, too, begins in silence. It's not about speaking louder than others or dominating a conversation. It's about knowing your value and staying grounded even when others doubt you. True confidence comes from preparation, self-awareness, and emotional discipline. You don't need to prove your intelligence with every sentence. Your calm presence already communicates strength. People trust those who stay composed when things get tense because calmness signals control, and control inspires confidence. Body language plays a huge role in this. Standing or sitting upright, making eye contact, and maintaining relaxed gestures all send subtle but powerful signals. They say, "I'm comfortable with myself, and I'm not afraid of this moment." On the other hand, crossed arms, fidgeting, or avoiding eye contact can suggest insecurity, even if your words are strong. The body often speaks before the mouth does, and people instinctively read those cues. So, mastering your posture, facial expression, and tone of voice is just as important as mastering your vocabulary. Another part of maintaining composure is learning not to take things personally. Often, what people say to you reflects their own emotions, fears, or frustrations, not your worth. When you understand this, you stop absorbing negativity. Instead of reacting defensively, you can respond with empathy or, when necessary, with silence. This mental detachment isn't coldness. It's maturity. It allows you to choose peace over ego, and that choice commands deep respect. Confidence also grows through vulnerability. Paradoxically, admitting what you don't know or acknowledging mistakes doesn't make you weaker. It makes you more human. People trust authenticity. When you say, "I'm not sure, but let's find out," you show humility without losing authority. It proves that your confidence comes from honesty, not arrogance. In a world full of noise and pretense, that kind of sincerity stands out. Every conversation is an opportunity to practice these qualities. Whether you're dealing with a colleague, a stranger, or a loved one, approach the exchange with calm energy and open curiosity. Listen deeply, speak with intention, and let silence carry as much weight as your words. Confidence is not about control over others, it's about mastery of yourself. When you remain centered no matter how turbulent the moment becomes, you not only earn respect, you create it. Ultimately, the calm and confident communicator becomes a source of stability in any environment. People are drawn to them, not because they speak the loudest, but because they make others feel safe and understood. And that is the greatest form of influence, to bring peace, not pressure, into every conversation. When your presence itself speaks louder than your words, you have reached the highest level of communication mastery. Speaking wisely isn't about talking more. It's about saying the right thing, to the right person, at the right time. One sentence can change how people see you, and sometimes it can change your entire life. If you want to become someone everyone loves to listen to, Start by listening more and speaking with depth, not noise. If this video inspired you, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more secrets on how to speak smart, confident, and impactful every single day. Because sometimes, one wise sentence can change everything.